We may get started. It's welcome to the Transport and Infrastructure Committee meeting 832. I'd like to welcome visiting councillors Ryan Baldwin Lumsden, Gail O'Neill and our acting mayor, Donna Gates, and Councillor Peter Young is an apology. And we haven't heard from Councillor Caldwell as yet, but we'll just give him a little bit more time. So,
that I'm not a visitor when I'm acting mayor, that I'm actually...
Well, you haven't been notified.
Thank you. It's true.
How do you... What, just because you say it's true?
When I'm acting mayor, I get a vote.
Yep.
Yeah, if you're appointed.
We've covered attendance, apologies, leaves of absence, confirmation of minutes. If we could have someone confirm the last minutes. That's Councillor Vorster, seconded by Councillor Owen Jones. Councillors, all those in favour? That is carried. I haven't received any conflict of interest declarations, and there's none from the floor. We've got several starred items, so 5.1, 6.1, 6.2, 6.3, and the general business one there at 8.1 should really read item 6.4. Which is not starred. So for the starred items, 5.1, 6.1, 6.2 and 6.3, moved by Councillor... Oh, no? 6.2 for a question. Any others that we'd like?
And by default, I think by unstarring 6.2, I'd maybe trigger 6.3 because it's in relation to the movement of
funds, okay. So unstarring 6.2 and 6.3. So I'll move it for 5.1 and 6.1. I'm happy to move those, seconded by Councillor Vorster. All those in favour? That is carried. Are we going too fast? Yeah, all good? Okay. So, councillors, we'll go to 6.2 and to Councillor Owen Jones.
So they're both in relation to Councillor Lacastra's division, and he can't be here today because he had some stuff that he had to be doing. But my first question was in regards to the Meadowbrook Crescent, where there's the creation of car parking. And do you know anything about that, Director?
But, Madam Chair, not through the top of my head. I will take some questions. I do have some transport people here. What level of information were you after, Councillor?
I suppose the first question is why? Because it just looks like a quiet cul-de-sac where there is... So I just looked at it online and it just looks like the street parking. So, and I don't quite...
Is it parkland currently?
So I haven't spoken to Councillor Lacastra about it. I just was reading it last night. So it was $120,000 to create car parking in what looks like I can only assume, a vacant block.
It's like a park. Is it a park?
And then, so if you want... And I'm happy to chat to Bob.
I'm happy to take that one on notice, Councillor.
Because it's like not indent car parking, or it's just like... And to me, I know that our Chief Investment Officer was looking around at sites for disposal, and it looks like a suburban block that is going to be worth 600,000 or 800,000. So I don't know.
Okay.
You know? And then the second question, again, was just in regards to the proposed footpath on Allison Road, Carrara. And again, that looked like... I'm not too sure why. And because, again, it looked very quiet and suburban. It looks like a cul-de-sac.
Through you, Madam Chair, I'd note it says it's to the adjacent playground, so I'll need to talk to the team relating to that.
Yep.
Councillor Gates.
I just wondered too, with regard to that one, if it had been through all of the gates that are necessary as part of the active travel network, and given that paths around our schools and what have you are in short supply, and that there's some sort of priority given where those, and I'm sorry, I can't think of the process it goes through, but you know the name of it.
Yeah, correct. Through you, Madam Chair. So obviously, from a initiation of a project, we have a project initiation group where we actually look at any project to make sure it aligns to those. This is obviously utilising a different funding arrangement to things such as the Missing Links program, which is about the connection of the current active transport. So they are slightly different components, but they do all go through our assurance program, which is making sure it's a fit for purpose project that we should be doing.
Okay, thank you.
So the reason why I just looked at it because of the dollar amount, right? But there's no other footpaths anywhere else in that area. So, anyway, so you haven't answered the question, so I'm all good. So.
I will take the question on notice and provide a briefing on both those projects back. To committee.
It's just interesting, if I could make a comment. In recent responses that I have received from officers, it says that footpaths are usually provided to provide connectivity to existing paths in the city. So that information would be valued, I'm sure, in allocating over $300,000 of ratepayers' funds.
Correct. We'll ensure that is answered.
Councillor Vorster.
I'm happy to move both items if that helps.
Okay, and seconded.
Oh, no, could I just question?
On
6.3.
Yeah, we'll do 6.2 first, if that's all right. So 6.2, we'll get some answers back on that. So you're happy to move that, Councillor Vorster? Someone happy to second the? Yes, Councillor Patterson. All those in favour? That is carried, and we'll have some information back on that prior to council. And I'll go to item 6.3. I'll go to Councillor Taylor.
Thank you. I was going to raise a general business in relation to moving of funds, but I didn't know whether that could be tied up into this.
No, we'll do it at the end.
Or keep it separate.
Yeah,
so
keep it separate.
Fantastic.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. So that's 6.3. You're happy to move that, and seconded by Councillor Hamill. All those in favour? That is carried. Thank you. Item 6. Well, it's 8.1 as general business on our agenda, but it should be 6.4. It's unstarred. Councillor Vorster, did you have some questions there?
Madam Chair, I'm happy to move the recommendation, but with a change. I'm sure it'll solicit some questions from my colleagues and from city officers. And before I can talk to it, what I'd propose, Madam Chair, is that one, remain the same, that council notes the finding of the investigation. Number two, that the yellow line to the west of the VXO be extended by 6 metres. So the recommendation is to do nothing. And if I've got a second, I'd just like to explain why residents feel as though this needs to be done after 7 years of pleading.
Question, Councillor Hamill?
Just, we've not been familiar with the area, Madam Chair, but on page 47, there's the aerial image. Could Councillor Vorster tell me which way is west or east?
It's an extension of the 26-metre line by further 6 metres, which is in effect one parking bay.
Okay, so that the to the left.
Yes, that's right.
Cool. Thank you.
So did I have a seconder for there? Seconded by Councillor Patterson, and then I'll go to you, Councillor Vorster.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm sure we're all want to hold the line when residents put in requests for yellow line extensions, because we do know that there is significant pressure on the amount of on-street car parking that is available across the city. For the last 7 years, the residents of 323 Christian Avenue, Varsity Lakes, known as Lakeview on Robina, have raised request after request through council to address the safety issues that they encounter when exiting their complex. Now, they do so by a single driveway, which is indicated on page 47 very clearly. The residents are merely seeking an extension of the existing line by one additional parking bay to provide them with more visibility of the oncoming traffic, which in their view puts their safety at risk when attempting to navigate this particular area. City officers have done absolutely the correct thing, and they've developed a report that's had regard to the standards. But I must say the lived reality for the residents there aren't dealt with appropriately by the standards, and they have a great level of unease when trying to navigate that driveway. What's difficult to capture, Madam Chair, is that their driveway, in effect, forms a fourth leg on that intersection. So you have lots of vehicles from Regensburg Close exiting. You've got 4 lanes of traffic at 60 kilometres an hour on a good day down Christian Avenue, and you have their driveway, which operates effectively as a road from their perspective. By having just that additional 6 metres worth of line, they would feel much more at ease, and we would be addressing what their real concern is, which is not the visibility of vehicles that are travelling at 60 kilometres an hour, but the reality that many vehicles do not travel at 60 kilometres an hour, exceed the speed limit, and therefore the effective visibility that they have, the time to safely navigate this intersection is reduced. I fully acknowledge that it's not in keeping with the reference. I've tried to work in good faith with the residents for 7 years to try to hold them back, but for 7 years they've persisted and they've taken the step to lodge a petition. And I think that just demonstrates that this problem is not going away. Quite rightly, city officers raised the issue of car parking supply, particularly for overflow parking from the sports house, which is a council-owned facility. But if you could have a look at page 47, colleagues, you will see that there is ample parking to the east that can absorb any single vehicle that's displaced by this single line. My preference is for this yellow line, rather than to raise a separate request, to install yet another sign on the road saying beware concealed driveway, which could be the other option. I'll leave it with you, but I just think after 7 years it'd be great to put this one to bed.
Chairman, I would normally, and would like to support the divisional councillor, but the report also says there's not been one crash reported. So I wanted to ask Councillor Vorster through you, is he aware of any unreported crashes at the site?
Madam Chair, I'd have to be corrected by city officers because I wouldn't want to give you unreliable evidence, but my understanding is that the traffic incidents that are captured in the data that we draw on occur at a particular financial threshold, and which might be $3,000. It could be even higher now. So I first want to get clarity on that before I respond. So perhaps through you, Madam Chair.
So through the chair, the threshold is based on injury. So yes. What is not recorded is anything that's just property damage. Yeah. So if someone's injured or goes to hospital, that's recorded, but the minor bingles aren't recorded.
So to answer your question through you, Madam Chair, to Councillor Gates, you can certainly turn up to the intersection and see shards of red and white and clear plastic littered on the intersection, which to my mind would demonstrate collision, but we're not necessarily going to see them in the stats that we use when making these assessments.
Thank you.
Yep.
And you have placed salted.
Councillors, is there any other questions there? So your change is extended by 6 metres?
Yeah, we'd probably need to break that sentence in half, so where it's full stop after investigation, and then the balance of that sentence becomes the new part 2.
Question, Madam Chair?
Yes, sorry, Councillor Hamill.
So, through you, Madam Chair, to Councillor Vorster, I'm just trying to understand where the 6 metres came from. Like, is that's officers have suggested that, or that's residents feel like 6 metres is so specific?
It's the length of a parking bay. So in my estimation, it's probably when a vehicle has not been parked on the road at that spot, they've had greater visibility.
Yeah.
I think it's standard cut parking base 5.3 metres. Or have I got that wrong? 4 metres. Okay.
Sorry, through the chair, 5.4.
5.4.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's at the end and then 6 metres in the middle.
Yep. Yeah, be extended. Yeah, thanks, Councillor Patterson.
So councillors, we've got a change recommendation there. No more questions, no more debate. Okay, we'll put that.
As part of the officer's investigation, were there tube counters put down? And what did the tube counter show in terms of adherence to the speed limit?
Through the chair, so the 85th percentile speed, which is the speed at which 85%, like the majority of vehicles are going at, was consistent with the 60k speed limit.
So it's 7.5, if there's a normal distribution, 7.5% of vehicles would be exceeding the 60 Ks?
Yes, so it would be through the chair, 15% exceeding. So it's below the 85. 85% are below the speed.
Right, okay, yep, got it.
All right, councillors, no more questions there. I'll put it to the vote. All those in favour? That is carried. Oh, against? Sorry? No? Carried.
If I, excuse you, Madam Chair, if I can just quickly add a component on yellow lines. So just a reminder, councillors, that the team are working on a pack for you and for the community relating to when you can have a yellow line. So I think it's something that's been around for quite a while. And as we know, there are people, and we've done audits previously on the lines. We are working on, I think Renee mentioned last time, there will be some website updates so people can go and find FAQs. We'll also be providing some packs, and then it'll come to a committee in October as a report for you as well.
Thanks, Director. And councillors, we've got one general business item from Councillor Darren Taylor, and I believe the words should be there on the screen. Councillor Taylor, you were wanting to move that, yeah?
Yes, please.
I'm happy to second that so we can speak to it.
No.
Because it's Cairns Avenue.
Cairns Avenue, it's not being Cairns.
And I'll go over to you, Councillor Taylor.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. This project 20246, we need to increase by about 61,000 to complete the construction of a concrete pathway connection to Kenny's Avenue, Service Paradise, from unallocated funds from the Division 10 Road Reserves Control. This has come about due to the increase of costs from when this project was first costed, and we were hoping to get underway, but obviously recosting's put us short, so we'd like to contribute. And,
all right, and councillors, I've had notification from Gary Ellis that there is sufficient unallocated funds in Division 10 for the addition to this project. So did anyone have any questions there? No questions. I'll put it to the vote then. All those in favour? That is carried unanimously. Thank you. Is there any other general business, councillors?
What do we do with CAM?
Well,
Do we need to note an apology?
an apology moved by Councillor Owen-Jones, seconded by Councillor Vorster. That's for Councillor Caldwell. All those in favour? That's carried. If there are no other general business items, councillors, I declare the meeting closed at 13:24.